Hey, 1st through 4th grade leaders, I have a few things I want to tell you about before I get started. First of all, our name change was approved, so we are officially Cross Church. So please check your emails and information that will be coming in the days to come as we redo this transition to our new name. October 22nd's Pajama Jam. We are going to encourage kids to invite someone to stay the night, and for them that maybe doesn't normally go to church, and invite them to wear the pajamas, bedhead and all, to church. Leaders, I'd love for you to wear your pajamas and your bedhead too. This is a great Sunday, one of my favorites, where we get to be real relational with the kids. The games that we play, the activities that we do are really geared towards building relationships with the kids in our small groups and their friends. So if you would, start finding your pajamas that you want to wear and get prepared for October 22nd. October 29th is going to be our surprise community carnival. I'm super excited about this day. This is truly going to be an outreach as we transition to a new name. We invite people from families from our community that don't know who we are to come on our campus and play games, no cost to them, and truly just to be an outreach to introduce who we are in a non-threatening way. So if you would share about our carnival, and also if you could just bring us candy. I think Bible groups are collecting candy, and also be available to help. All right, so we're diving into the big idea of stewardship again this week. Stewardship is taking care of what you have because it all belongs to God. Our key question that we'll be answering is, how can you best use your things? I bet if we ask kids what their most prized possession is and what's super important, they might tell you Legos or skateboards or something like that. But if we ask them how well they take care of it, if they leave it out, they would probably be real honest with you and tell you they don't take the best care of it. But we want kids to remember that everything that they own belongs to God, and that God made it possible for them to have those things. Along with that comes a responsibility to use their things, like their time and their talents and their money, wisely. And that's something that was very important to Jesus. So important that he talked about stewardship through several parables. We're going to dive into the one in Matthew chapter 25, verses 14 through 30. This is a familiar parable about a businessman who went on a journey and left 3 of his workers in charge of some of his money. 2 of the workers turned it into a profit, while the third one buried his profits and did nothing with it and wasted it. In the end, the people listening are left wondering how they are caring for what's been entrusted to them. So our bottom line this week is, use your things wisely. God has given each of us a responsibility over something: money, talents, even our stuff. And so what we want to do is we pray that our kids will discover how they can use their things and use them wisely. All right, so as kids arrive this Sunday, there's a thing called stuff category. So as your kids arrive, they're going to sit down, and you're going to hand out this sheet to each one of them. It says stuff categories. I'm also going to have a box of alphabet cookies like this at your small group station. What you're going to do is draw out of the box one of the letters. This one's a letter G. Their categories are, they have to come up with items that start with the letter G. So stuff that I have that starts with a G. They could say a giraffe. Stuff I want that starts with a letter G. Maybe gumballs. Stuff my mom wants that starts with the letter G. Stuff no one wants that starts with the letter G. Maybe like goop. So that's how they're going to do it. And you can play up to 3 rounds of this as your kids keep arriving, okay? And you can pair, for 1st and 2nd graders, pair them up together so they can work on this together and maybe come up with some items. It just helps with those younger kiddos. All right, then after we do large group time and music, we'll start off with our small group time. After our icebreakers, we have activity number 1, which is called Special Stuff. This is what you're going to do. You're going to pass out blank pieces of paper to all the kids. Pencil and a piece of paper. You're going to have the kids draw a picture of their most precious possession, things that they own that they value more than anything else. After that, then you're going to ask the kids to write a scenario. This specifically for our 3rd and 4th graders. Write a scenario around the item that they drew that could tell how it could be used to help others. So let's say a video game is one of their prized possessions. So what I want them to do is write out a scenario. Maybe what they could do is share that video game, invite friends over that don't have that video game. That would be a great way to use their things wisely. If for our younger kids, they don't have to write out a scenario unless you have time to write it down. They could draw a picture around with using that item, what they could. So if their favorite thing is a skateboard, Maybe what they could do is use that skateboard to go deliver cards to some people at their houses, or baked goods or something like that, or give a ride to a kiddo that maybe doesn't have their own skateboard, or share it with someone. So they just draw pictures around their prized item, and then you'll close it out with some discussion. Activity number 2 is a little bit confusing, so I'm going to take a minute to explain it to you. It's called Shuffle Stuff. Everything's about stuff this week. So what you're going to do is you're going to gather all your kids in a circle. If you have less than 12 kids, this is what I need you to do. You're going to have a stack of shuffle cards. Make sure if you have less than 12 kids that you take the pictures out and use only the words from the verse, okay? What you're going to do is if you have 12 kids, you're going to hand 3 cards to every kid. If you have less than that, you're going to go ahead and take out the bike and the guitar and all these other pictures, and go ahead and hand out, make sure each kid can get 2. If you have less than that, then the kids are going to maybe get 3, 4, 5, maybe 5 cards if you don't have very many kiddos in your group, but you have to make sure that all the words to the verse get handed out. All right, then you're going to have a set of 3 dice that's in your group. Now, what you're going to do is, starting with the very first player, they're going to roll, so they have their shuffle cards. I'm going to pretend I'm a player. I have my shuffle cards, right? I have 3 shuffle cards, because each one is only getting 3 if you have 12 kids. If you have less than 12 kids, there may have 4 cards, so I'll say 4 cards. Okay, I'm going to roll the die, all 3 at once. Up, and of course one goes on the floor. Okay, so you roll all 3 of your dice. Now, if there is a 3 showing, this is what I got. I got 4, 1, and a 2. If you have a 3 showing, I have to take one of my cards and pass it to the left. If I have a 4 showing, I have to pass it to the right, and I did. I had a 4 showing, so I'm going to pass a card to the right. If I have a 5 showing, I put it in the center, and now that card is out of play. If I have a 1, 2, and a 6, those become neutral numbers that I get to keep the card. So I did roll a 1 and a 2. So that means I should have 2 cards in my hands. I actually have 3 because I have more cards than what we started with. But this means I get to keep all these cards because I rolled a 1 and a 2. Okay? Does that make sense? Then you're going to pass the dice to the next person in your group. Doesn't matter how many shuffle cards they start with. What you're going to have happen is, eventually you're going to weed this down until more and more cards get to the center, more and more cards get switched around to the left, to the right, and then some kids will end up keeping cards. So some players will have more than 3 cards when it's their turn to roll. You still roll with 3 dice, and you still follow the directions. These directions are listed in your notes. When most of the cards are in the center, there'll only be a few players remaining. Those players continue until there's a winner. So that means you should have one person that still has cards in their hands, and they become the winner. Then what you're going to do is, the winner needs to try to put the verse in order. I would encourage you to let the whole group, because now they could have been sitting for a little bit, everybody work together to put the group in order, and I'm going to have candy in your bins for you to give out candy to everyone, because everybody wins, right? Okay. Any questions? We will talk about it and huddle up, but I think I've explained it. If you just read through this and watch this video, it should help you. Then there's some discussion questions for our 4th graders. 3rd and 4th graders, you could actually have some of these discussions while you're doing the dice, and especially as kids become getting out. And you can in the younger grades too if you want to. All right, last activity is our prayer activity. They're going to take that special stuff sheet from, say that 3 times fast, special stuff sheet from activity number 1, where they drew their prized possession. They're going to take that, put it in their lap. You're going to go around and have them share what their most prized possession was. Have them think about how they can use that wisely to help someone else, or to help someone else. And then when you pray, you want to encourage the kids to take home these papers, put them up somewhere where every time they look at it, it'll remind them to take really good care of the things that they have, and also how they can share it with others and use it wisely, just like God encourages us to do in this parable. All right, that's it. Hope you're having a great week. I look forward to Huddle Up time. This Sunday I won't be there, but Miss Denise Zerber will be there for 1st and 2nd service and handling that for me. So first service 8:30, second service 10:10. Hope you have a great rest of the week, and talk to you soon. I will be praying for Sunday. Pray for me.